Alright guys, welcome back. And so this is the final lesson in the series on PowerPoint before we move on to other subjects. And so this one is going to be more of a practical. And so basically we're going to take everything that we've learned so far and put them together into our own brand new presentation for PowerPoint. I'm not going to give you guys any of the files for this because I'm going to design this from scratch. And hopefully by now, with all of this practice and training, you guys should hopefully be able to keep up with me, and we can kind of practice together building a nice little presentation app within PowerPoint. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a very short introduction to Cambodia app. And we'll use some images, we'll use some stock footage, and we'll use transitions and animations to kind of bring the whole thing to life. We'll make sure that it's interactive, and we'll make sure that it kind of has a nice aesthetic. And so this whole thing will probably take 30 minutes to an hour, but we're only going to make a few slides. I just want to make sure that we've got some good practice on how it looks. And I'm also going to be doing this on the fly, so I haven't prepared anything, so I might make some mistakes. I might have to go backwards from time to time. Just bear with me if I do that. This is what it takes to make something look good, is that, sometimes you have to go back and revise things and change things around. So without having a very clear idea of what we're going to do, let's just start with a nice cover photo. So we're going to start by looking for a nice cover photo for Cambodia. So I'm going to go to Pictures, Online Pictures, and I'll just search for Cambodia. All right, let's see. Let's find me a nice photo here. Oh, that's very tiny. Is that really low resolution? That's pretty low resolution. All right, we don't want that one. If you guys have a good picture of Cambodia. All right, I'm just going to use a general rainforest picture instead. That'll be nice. All right, beautiful. Much nicer. Doesn't look like Cambodia, but let's change it again. That looks more like a temperate rainforest. Alright, insert picture. Jungle. Let's try that. Oh, lovely. I think that's animated. I like this. There we go. Awesome. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is go full screen on that. And now I need to kind of decide on the style of my cover. So for that, I'm going to go get some inspiration. So PowerPoint cover image title design. Let's do image results, and I'm just going to quickly look through and see if anything stands out to me. That looks pretty nice. Might do something like that with a big bar, a big block. This one is also familiar. We use this during our training for YCLP. Just need some ideas. I might do something like this with some angles. Just looking for some inspiration that really jumps out at me. I really do like that. Maybe a nice shape like that. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Let's see if I can do something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some shapes. We're going to remove the outline. We don't need any outline. I'm going to put one shape over here. And I'll put another shape on this side. We'll set both of them to different colors. I'm really going to get particular with my color here. And this one will be a bit of a lighter version of that same color. And let's set both of them to somewhat transparent. Alright, interesting look so far. Let's put a triangle or two in on that borderline. And no outline again. And we're going to use this darker color for now. Put Put another one at the top. So, simple as that. We've got a somewhat nice looking opening slide. I think I might switch the position of these. This is all totally up to you. So you can design your own title slide if you want. And let's go ahead and add some text. And in this case, I'm going to use a block. Let's get some nice fonts. And we'll make it nice and big. And let's take our format. We have no outline and no fill. And now we can totally customize this block here to kind of fit nicely within our presentation. All right, we can make this one smaller and maybe a different font. Don't use anything that looks like Comic Sans font. That's a no-no. That looks pretty nice. Let's spread it out a bit. Yeah, I think Calibri Light is going to be the way to go. And I think we're going to put it in the middle here. It's got a nice snap. What if we put a strip of color? Does that look nice? No, that looks weird. Maybe over here. Let's give it a drop shadow. Makes it stand out a lot better. Not the end of the world. Let me try something. So I'm going to take this triangle effect and expand it out a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm actually going to make these semi-transparent as well. Let's see what this looks like. Well, it's not the end of the world. It's something. Not sure what it is, but it's something. Let's put a right triangle there. Shapes. Do we have a right triangle somewhere? There we go. How about that? That's interesting. I'm not sure if it's good, but it's good enough for now. How about that? Boom. There we go. That's a bit nicer. And I might even mirror that blue font like that. Okay. That's pretty good. Now, if I wanted this triangle not to be sticking off the side, I'm going to come up here to Shapes. I'm going to make a big block like this. I'm going to go like that to cover it off, make sure I have no outline again. So now I'm snapped to the edge there. I'm going to select both of those shapes, go to Merge Shape, and we want to subtract. So I need to send this one to the back. So I always have to figure out again which way we want this to go. Oh, come on. Where are you? I want to cut off that edge. So why can't I do that? Right click, bring to front. Merge shapes, union, combine, fragment. What is fragment done? There we go. There we go. So that's what I wanted. Fragment in this case. So now that design is on its own. And I think I had that. And what was this thing set to? Transparency is about 50. gotta change that color. Okay, not bad. It's a little bit corporate looking, this title slide, but I think we can probably improve upon it. At a later point. Good enough for now. Come on. Come on, give me the text box here. So I'm grabbing the edge here. This might even would be worth centering this all. Align to the center and align to the middle. Yeah. Okay, we got some interesting shapes going on here. That's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. All right, let's make a new slide. So now we're going to start making it interactive. So in this case, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take everything in this side, copy it. I'm going to come over to Slide Master. So View, Slide Master. Let's find a nice empty layout, remove everything on there, paste that, and I'll get rid of this, and I'll also get rid of most of these effects and have it be a little bit more simplified. So maybe something like that. Oops. I made a copy when I wanted to just move it. Might even adjust the transparency on those arrows, and maybe this thing will come to the edge. And now I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to cut off the edge of this thing, right, using, what was it? Intersect. No, not intersect. Fragment. It's fragment. There we go. There we go. And so now I've got just that block over there. All right, so let's close that. And we're going to set the background layout for this new one as this thingy here. Oh, let me go back to View, Slide Master. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I just need to cut off these bits that I don't want. Fragment, delete, delete. Oh, actually, hang on. I can use this down here. Okay, I can delete that one. Select that. Format, merge, shape, fragment. Okay, now I can delete this, and set these guys' colors back to normal. No outline. And the color, be that dark color. All right, there we go. So I've got my title slide and my kind of background. And let's go ahead and say, what are we going to explore? So let's go ahead and insert people, places, and species. How about that? So we'll start with some pictures. All right, so people. Get a nice looking shot of some people. How about this shot? Oh, it doesn't like it. Sometimes these online things can be a bit finicky. There we go. People. Okay. And then I need places. So let's get Mekong River. Oh, that's a great shot. That's it? Just the one photo? That looks more like Vietnam than Cambodia, frankly. Let's just do Cambodia and see what we get. So, all right. Just for now, I'm going to use this overused image. Places. Might even change that one. There we go. Better picture. And let's get wildlife. So let's try, see what we get. That's, again, it's not a Cambodian species, but it gets the idea. Oh, well, you know what? Let's get a tiger. I'm sure there's a tiger picture. No, technically not a Cambodian species either anymore. Leopard. There we go. Get a nice leopard photo. We'll go legit. All right, so now we've got these 3 different images, totally different sizes. And the first thing we want to do is let's make them all square. So one by one, I'm going to crop them to an aspect ratio of 1 by 1. And I'll adjust the position so that they look nice. So aspect ratio 1 by 1. And holding shift to adjust the position, right? Aspect ratio 1 by 1. And then I'll get the crop in a nice angle, and I'm holding shift, right, to keep them locked like so. And now we can all make them, let's say, try 3 inches. That looks like that's going to be perfect. So just by typing 3, they're all going to be the same size. So now we have people, places, and wildlife. We can maybe even make them all 4. Let's try 4. That'll probably work. And so I'm going to use the distribute technique now, right? So I'm going to select them all, arrange, align, distribute horizontally, and then I'm going to make sure that they are aligned to each other's middle. And let's put them, I'm going to group them so that they stop wiggling around like that. We'll put them towards the bottom there, and I can ungroup. And let's go ahead and add a little bit of a instruction set. So what are people supposed to do here? So I'm going to put this block over you. No outline. I'll give it this nice blue fill. And we'll say people. And let's get our font nice. So what font did we use up here? It's nice to repeat fonts. Aroni. And then just holding Control and Shift, I slide it exactly sideways, and very quickly I've named all of my animals, all of my pictures. Okay, so I'm going to take these 2 and group them together. I'm going to group these 2 together, and I'm going to group these 2 together. So that's just click, Control G for all 3 of those. And then we need a nice heading. So I'm going to copy that text box as well out of there. Let's bring this across and bring it down. And let's make this kind of match the look. So we might just get rid of the fill completely. And for the font size, maybe we might change the font here to something else. What was the secondary font that we used? Calibri Light. So let's try Calibri Light. And maybe, yeah, Calibri Light looks pretty good, but maybe not capital letters. Go even bigger, and let's make it italicized. Let's give it a drop shadow to make it pop out more. Can bring it down a little bit. Can even have it be centered there. And that's looking pretty nice. And given that it's there, I might bring this up a little bit just to balance out the weight of the slide a little bit. And that's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? I think it's all right. So now we need a slide for people, places, and wildlife. So let's just go ahead and add 3 new slides. And so we're going to use people on the first one. We're going to use places on the second one. And we're going to use wildlife on the third one. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to... oh, I think actually I can ungroup these. I think I'm going to need to ungroup these actually. So group, ungroup. So let's ungroup these guys. And let's have people. So actually, watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to copy this top heading and paste it, but I'm only going to use that to get the placement right of my people text. Oops. So now that that's there, I can delete that. And let's make people go really big now. And I'll have the background disappear. Oops, shadow, there we go. And so now what's going to happen, once I put a morph transition, that people text should move to the top nicely. And so I'm going to do the same thing now that I've got this. I'm going to paste that there and there, but I'm only using that as a reference point, right? So now places, I'm going to move places to here. I'm going to increase its size, and there you see it snaps. And I'm going to increase, and now it snaps there, so I know it's on the same point. And so now, oh, there it is. Now it's on the same point. And so now, what is this size? 72. So now I can, there's people in the front. I can, come on, give me the people in the front. I see the people is in the front. There we go. You have to select the edge there. So now I can make this up to size 72. And let's add the drop shadow, and we'll remove the background. No fill. So now I've got people, places, and we need the last one to be wildlife. So wildlife is going to go here. Boom. I'm holding, oops, I'm holding control. That's not right. There we go. I'm holding control to get the lines to move at the same time. And no outline and no fill. Okay. That looks good. And now let's take the background and let's go full screen with the background. Now we can't use the slide master in this context because then the pictures will not morph. And we want the pictures to morph. So I'm going to go full screen with all of these. Okay. Places, and lastly wildlife. Bing. Bing. Good. And then to get that kind of blue look, to make it consistent, I'm going to go back over to my slide master, and I'm just going to copy all of this, and I'm just going to paste it on top of that without that picture. So I need to get rid of that picture. Hang on. I don't want that picture. So let's go view, slide master, and let's copy all of this. Wait, how am I going to get that out of there? View, slide master. So just need to move that. You know what? I'm going to duplicate this slide for a second so I don't mess it up. Right. There we go. Send to back, and then delete that picture. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to take those three, close master slide view, and paste them there. Right click, send to back, right click, send to back. There we go. So I'm pasting this on top of everything, then sending it all to the back, and then sending the picture to behind all of that. So paste this on top of everything, send it to the back, and then right click and send the picture to the back. So let's just do a quick check. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a morph animation transition to these three slides. Good. And let's make it set to 1 second because we don't want it to be too slow. And I'm going to add an animation on this slide. So we're going to have this fly in from the bottom. That looks good. Fly in and fly in. And those will start automatically. So we'll have this one. So I'm selecting all three of these, and I'm going to set it to start automatically after previous. Right? And so now these first two will come in automatically, then these two, and then these two together. All right. And let's put a nice begin button here as well. So let's put a little rounded rectangle here. We'll make it matching the color theme. A nice, we'll make it a white one with no outline and a nice drop shadow so that we make it clear it's a button. We might even make it a little bit right-click format shape. We might even give it a bit of transparency. And then we're going to say begin. And you can just start typing on any shape. And so for the font color, we'll make it this nice dark bold. And we'll set it to that bold font that we like. Boom. There we go. Looks pretty good. we're going to use this color, or are we going to use a lighter color? Maybe that's a nicer color. And now let's hyperlink this. Hyperlink to next slide in this case. Or we can tell it to go to slide 2. And I think we'll also go to slideshow and we'll tell it to work as a kiosk. So we don't want any next. And so now we need a back and a home button. So let's go insert icon, back, use this one, home, use this one, insert those. And just, I mean, the design is totally up to you. I'm going to make these 0.5 in size. For the graphics, I'm going to make it this. Let's make it an even darker. What's this color here? So I'm just copying this here so I can steal the color from it. Graphics eyedropper, we'll use that color. Oops, that was the outline, no outline. Graphics fill, that color. And again, we're going to give it that little, there's all sorts of effects you could do to give it like a, you could even give it this rounded bevel effect, but I don't really like how that looks. So I'm going to use shadow, and I'll use this so it's almost like a cutout. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so let's put home there, and we'll put back there next to it. I'm going to tell home to always hyperlink to slide number 2. And I'm going to say back to hyperlink to the previous slide viewed. So to do that again, insert action, hyperlink to last slide viewed. And that's like okay. I like the position of those, so now I can just copy that to every slide where I need them. Alright. So let's give it a look and see how it's looking so far. So begin. Oh, we need a nicer transition on that. So let's do a transition and let's do a push from the bottom. And then I'm even gonna have this text fade in. And maybe I will even change that picture because that, or you know what? We could do this transition can just be a fade. That'll be nice. Alright, there we go. So now let's see how it goes. So we begin. That fades away, and these fly in. And I forgot to tell this thing to start automatically, so I need to bring that to start automatically after previous. There we go. Alright, one more time. I hope you guys are keeping up. You should have something similar to this. Click to explore Cambodia. So what do we want to explore? People, places, or wildlife. Alright, I didn't hyperlink these yet. So now that these are done, now we can hyperlink these 3 things. So I'm going to hyperlink this to place in this document slide number 3, this one to slide 4, and this one to slide 5. And I will do the same for the text boxes on top, just so in case people click on that, it does the same thing. Oops, hang on, nope. So hyperlink to slide 4, places, and wildlife, hyperlink to slide 5. Boom. There we go. Alright, let's check it out. Alright. People, places, wildlife. So we click on people. We get that nice transition. If we go back, ooh, it's only fading. We need a morph. Alright, so we want it to morph back to that first one. So we're going to need to use the trick. We're going to need 2 slides here. So I'm going to duplicate that slide. And all of these back ones, instead of going to the previous slide view, are going to hyperlink to slide number 3. So I'm going to hyperlink this not to last slide viewed. We're going to go to slide number, and we'll set it to 3. And I'll show you why we're doing that in a second. So edit link, slide number 3, and edit link, slide number 3. So we're doing 3 instead of 2 this time. And I think even the home button also needs to be hyperlinked to slide number 3. And I'll show you why in a second. So that one I'm just going to copy because this is what I should have done last time as well. So So I'm just deleting the home button and pasting the new one. All right. So slide number 2 is only going to show up that first time with a fade transition. Then these 3 are coming in with a morph. And then slide 3 is also going to be a morph transition of 1 second. And so now, from here, you're going to move to slide 2. From slide 2, you can move to either 4, 5, or 6. But from 4, 5, or 6, you can only go back to slide 3. And so slide 3 and slide 2 have different transitions. So it's just a hidden way of hiding your sneaky navigations. I'm also going to make sure that slide 3 has no animations. So all of these animations on slide number 3 need to go. So now we should have this kind of effect. Okay, so we have the animations. This is slide 2 that we're on right now, but once we click off of this, we're never coming back to slide 2. So any button we press will bring us to slide 3. And look how much more kind of intuitive this is. Like we zoom into wildlife and then we go back, and this is looking pretty cool. All right, so next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get complicated with you guys, and we're going to go straight to wildlife. I'm going to skip people and places. And we're going to make a little slider here of different species. So I hope you're ready. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to insert a bunch of pictures. So I'm going to use a photo library of photos that I have. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to use sample images for now because then you guys can just do the same thing. And again, this is all just for practice. So I'm going to go to insert. I'll just use Pixabay and Pexels, and I'll just search for wildlife images, just random wildlife images. So we'll add this owl. Oh, Pixabay is not working for me for some reason. So we'll add this. Okay. So I'm just going to add all these pictures for now onto the same slide. And I'm going to get about 15 images or so, just so we have kind of some good content to work with. I'm kind of trying to stick to Asian animals at least, even if it's not the correct species exactly. There we go. That's a macaque. And we'll give it a dolphin. Give it this buffalo. Here's another owl. Here's a whale. And again, everything we're doing right now is just really for practice. All right, I don't know how many images I have, but that's probably good enough to get started with. So the first thing I'm going to do is, hang on, I don't want to move that wildlife thing. So let's take all of our images and just make sure we can kind of see them all like so. All right, I'm going to select them all. There we go. And make sure you're not selecting your back buttons. Let's just make everything a bit smaller so it's easier to work with. What did I do? Oh, I moved my little arrow here. Shoot. It's okay. I can just delete that and copy it from another page. No problem. Done. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop all of these to a 1:1 aspect ratio. So this is going to take a minute. So I'm just going to select crop aspect ratio 1:1 and holding shift to adjust the angle. There we go. And I'm just going to do this for all of them for now. And you can just click outside of every image when you're done, or you can press escape. Enter doesn't work apparently. Aspect ratio 1:1. So I'll move him over there. Once they're all 1:1, then we can set their sizes to be the same and make other adjustments. So, there we go. Crop aspect ratio 1:1. All right. Crop aspect ratio 1:1. Let's go. And you'll see why we're doing this in a minute. All right, I think everything is now in a 1:1 aspect ratio. That's good. So now we can select all of our images and set them to the same size. Do I have all of them? Yes. So let's set them to 2 inches here. And we're going to align them to the middle. And we'll just for now distribute horizontally to make them easier to select. So that one doesn't look like it's 2. Why does that one look smaller? That's strange, isn't it? It's definitely a bit shorter. This does, oh, I think my crop, that's what happened. My crop just, so if you have that problem, just go fill and make sure you're holding shift when you move your images. That is exactly what happened, is I wasn't holding shift when I moved that image. If you don't hold shift, when you're cropping, you can move your image up. You see? See what's happening right there? My image is leaving a little white line on the bottom where there's no image. So just click fill and then do it again, but holding shift this time to make sure your movement is locked left and right. So anytime you let an image kind of fall outside of its frame, you're going to end up with those funny lines. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're just going to, for now, and again, always make sure you're getting your images and not your background stuff, right? So if you don't want to select your background stuff, well, anyway, we're going to get into that later. So let's just get our images again and make sure they're all aligned up nicely. So let's align them to the middle, and we're going to distribute them again. Distribute horizontally. There we go. And what we're going to do now is spread them out so that they have a more natural spacing. And this doesn't need to be perfect. We just need to roughly estimate it. We're going to get it perfect in a second. And also the order is important as well. So you're going to think about your colors. If there's some colors that don't look nice next to each other, spread them out. Right? So, all right. I think that's all of the images, and the color arrangement is not bad. So I'm going to select them all again. And again, align, distribute horizontally. And now the spacing is perfect across all of them. And we're going to put it around this height. And now I'm just going to group everything, and I'm going to, actually, we don't even need to do that. We don't even need to group it all. I'm just going to move it over here like this. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this slide. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all of these images for now and just copy them onto a new slide so I have them somewhere else. Sorry, not a new section, new slide. So I'm just going to paste them all here for now, and now I don't have to be so stressed if I accidentally delete it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide how many slides I need, how many pictures I need on the slide at the beginning. So let's say it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, basically, and 5, because we always need the one that's fully off. So 5 images need to be on, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means all of these I can delete for now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move that and make sure that this tiger is in the complete center. And we'll get the height where we want it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just with this tiger, arrange a line to the center. There we go, and that's the center. And now, and again, I'm not so worried about the distribution at this point, so I'm going to align, distribute horizontally. There we go. So let's add a scrolling button. So let's add a button that goes left and right. So I'm going to go insert, let's go for icons. We'll do arrow, and we'll do this one. And we'll make it our nice little blue color with a drop shadow. And actually, we might even make it white and give it a little pill-shaped button to live on. And so this shape can be this color. And this also can have a drop shadow. No outline, but we do want to give it a drop shadow. Boom, there we go. And I might even type in it back. Let's change our fonts to, what was it, Aharoni. And this time I'm going to align it to the right of this shape. And I'm going to take my arrow, oops, send to back, send to back. This happens sometimes when you have so many layers. Send to back, there we go. All right, and let's get our arrow fitting nicely inside there. Okay, that looks pretty nice. And something like that. And I'm going to group that together. There we go. I'm also going to give that a drop shadow just to make it look. All right, we've got a little back button. Not bad. I'm going to put this, I'm going to actually cut this from here, save it on our kind of our workbench for here. I'm going to copy, paste it. And now I'm going to align this over here to the left, type next, take our arrow, rotate it around by holding shift, and rotate it 90 degrees, and then drag it over there, And you see I got my little alignment, so I know the alignment is exactly, and that's easy. That's as easy as it is to make two, to make your next and your back button. Super easy. So this thing has two elements, right? It has the pill shape with the back in it, and it has this icon. So I'm going to make both of them hyperlink. Nope, sorry, not hyperlink. I'm going to make both of them insert action to the previous slide viewed, the last slide viewed. So I'll do that for the arrow and for the pill shaped with the text. So last slide viewed, and then this one is going to hyperlink to the next slide. And so that's easy. Hyperlink to next slide. All right. So those are done. I can use those later. So let's start with this complicated transition effect that we're going to do. All right. So I've got this slide done. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste this slide. I'm just noticing, is this wildlife was not in the center. I think all of these are not in the center. There we go. All right, much better. Sorry about that. All right, so let me just make sure again that that tiger is in the center. All right, good. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this tiger bigger. And so to make it easy on myself, I'm going to hold shift and click the up arrow a few times. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 8, 7, 6. So we'll do 6 times. And then I'll spread these guys to match. And again, there should be a little, we can do the distribution thing again. So arrange, align, distribute horizontally. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. The owl, I'm actually going to increase him as well. So 1, 2. So tiger is 6, owl is 2, everything else is nothing. Actually, you know what? These two I'm going to take down by 2. And then roughly, again, let's just distribute them all. This should be coming off a little bit. Very good. Okay, arrange, align, distribute horizontally. There we go. And actually, we don't need the squirrel now, so it's just 4 on a slide. Okay, so again, the buffalo is going to be up by 2. The owl is going to be up by 4. So from the whale. Or the whale is actually down 1. So the buffalo is nothing. The whale is down 2. The owl is up 2. The tiger's up 6. There we go. So buffalo is the standard size. Whale is the one off the screen is going to be down by 2. The owl is going to be up by 2. The tiger is going to be up by 6. That tiger looks squished. Is he squished? Nope. He's just squishing himself. Okay. All right. So there we go. So we've got this little scroller going on. And now we're going to need to transition this to the next slide. So I'm just going to copy this slide and paste. And so keep a good eye on how this works. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving everything to the right. So let's get the next animal in a sequence. So we've got the tiger, we've got the owl, we've got this, we've got this. So we need the squirrel. So he's coming in next. So let's put the squirrel in. And the squirrel is going to take the place of the whale. You see how this works? So I just shrink the squirrel down to the whale and then right click, send to back. Now the whale is coming over here to take the place of the buffalo. And he's going to be up by 2. And then right click, send to back. The buffalo is coming over to the place of the owl. And he's coming up by 2. The owl, I'm going to select the owl. He's coming over to the place of the tiger. And I'm just making sure they're in the center. And he comes up by 6. Oh no, up by 4. Sorry, he's already up a bit. And send to back. And the reason things are disappearing is because I need to just right-click, send this to the back, right-click, send this to the back. We can make this, we'll deal with that in a second, actually. We'll make that a static icon, a static background, so we don't need to deal with it anymore. And so now the tiger is going to shrink down by 4 to the size of the buffalo. And to get him in the right place, I'm actually going to hold Control and Shift and drag this buffalo over here until I get the right spacing on the right side, on the left side. I'll move the tiger over there. And then I'll delete that buffalo. And so now what we've just created is this slider effect. So all the pictures are sliding in from the right hand side. And so now this becomes very easy. So I'm just going to copy and paste that and continue that. However, before I do that, let's go ahead and get rid of this effect. Now, the reason we have this box here and this image here is because we want this warping effect. We want this morphing effect. When we arrive at the page for wildlife, we want it to do this first before this stuff appears. And so we can get around that by duplicating this slide. And on this first slide, number 6, I'm going to get rid of all these pictures. I'm even going to get rid of these navigation links. And here we will, wait, I think I did this backwards. Where are we hyperlinking to? Slide number 6. So slide number 6 is the one we want to keep. So let's duplicate slide number, and so now it's slide number 6, yes. So slide number 7, we're going to remove all this stuff from. No, excuse me. Slide number 6, we're going to remove all this stuff from. And so now this will hyperlink to slide number 6. So it should look like this. And that's it. It stays there. So now what we're going to do is slide number 6 is automatically going to transition with no effect to slide number 7. So it's going to go to slide number... Actually, we're not even going to give it no effect. We're going to give it a morph effect. And it's going to take 1 second to do the morph. And it's going to start at 0 seconds after the previous slide. Oh, sorry. Hang on. So the morph effect is for arriving on it, right? So from here, see, this stuff takes a bit of thinking. From this slide, we want to morph to these. So that's going to be 1 second, 1 second, and 1 second. And the only difference is that this one is going to automatically progress to slide number 7. So for slide 7, we're going to set it to morph and have it be a 1 second duration. There we go. And we're not going to have it automatically transition. So these will automatically kind of fade in. And in fact, we could even have them... So anyway, watch what we're going to do over here. So over here, I'm actually going to take all of the content from this slide, except for these pictures. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to go over to Slide Master, View Slide Master. Let's create a new layout, erase everything on that layout, and paste that here. So this is now our backdrop for our wildlife slide. And so what I can now do is change these 3 slides, right click, change the layout to this. And so boom. But now none of this is clickable. If I select all on this page, I only get these images. Even these things aren't clickable. And we'll deal with that in a minute. The reason we don't want those clickable is because we don't want them moving. Let me show you what that would look like if I hadn't done this. So undo all of that. Right. And so now all of this is here. And so what we're going to do for these slides is we're going to use a transition that is going to pan from the right. And so you see what's happening right now is as we go to the right, which I need my buttons for. So let's put them in. So, put you over there. Okay. Okay. There we go. We've got a next and a back. So now, as I'm going through these transitions, everything is sliding. Like the whole design is sliding to the right. We don't want that. And so what we're going to do to get rid of that... Oh, hang on. This is the morph is actually what we want to use. But even with the morph, you'll see we have some problems. So to get rid of that, we're going to actually create a slide master background for this. So again, I'm going to select everything, get rid of the pictures, get rid of these buttons. We want those buttons. I'm going to cut it from here. I'm going to come over to View, Slide Master, create a new layout, paste that layout there, make sure it looks good. We'll close that, and now for all of these slides, I'm going to set that as the background. So we're using this wildlife background theme. So now the only things on this slide are these buttons here. And even these buttons aren't there. And so what this means is that as we pan, only the contents are moving. Oh, that one I need to... Sorry, I didn't delete the stuff on that. There we go. Let's try one more time. There we go. Oh, we got a triangle. There he goes. Delete. Do we have any more triangles? Good. Good. Oh, big triangle. All right. And so now only the content of the slide is moving, but the text and these things are not moving. Now you'll see our next and back buttons are also moving, so we need to get rid of those as well. So watch how we're going to do that. I'm going to cut them from here. Actually, this was a mistake I made. As I told you, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to paste them here. Close this. I'm going to delete them from here. And from here. And you'll notice the reason they're not disappearing is because there's two of them, right? There's the one in the background, and there's the one that's actually on the slide. So now, let's just double check. One way we can check what's on the slide is just click on the slide and press Control A to select all. So we've got a triangle in this one. Control A, and we've got an icon there. Control A. There we go. We should only have the pictures. There we go. All right. So now, what we're going to do to be able to make these actual buttons do something is check out. This is a great little trick. So watch this. I'm actually going to create an invisible box around these icons that are going to do what they say they're going to do. And I can even make them a little bit bigger to make them easier to press. So let's go shape outline, no outline, shape fill, no fill. And let's just copy one of them and paste it down here. And so down here we'll make this whole corner. Good. And we'll copy that by holding Shift and Control and put it over there. Now to select these, you have to be careful. You got to grab the edge because there's nothing there. So we're going to hyperlink this one. No, wait, hang on. This one is going to be Insert Action, hyperlink to last slide viewed. And this one here is going to hyperlink to the next slide. And this little invisible box here is going to hyperlink to, what did we want, slide 4? Slide 3. And actually, wait, no, hang on. That's kind of also the previous slide. So where are you? Come on. Let me find that invisible box. There we go. So this one, we also want to format, insert, action, hyperlink to last slide viewed. And this one will go, oops, why I moved it by accident. This one will hyperlink to the home page, which is slide 3 basically. And so now I'm just going to copy all those invisible boxes. There they go. And I'll paste them onto all of our slides. And now once I start duplicating slides, I don't need to do that anymore. All right, let's see how this works. So people, places, wildlife. We'll click on wildlife. It's going to go full like this. Hang on. We got to deal with a transition issue here. So we want this one to transition is going to be morph for all 3 of those. Morph in 1 second. And Y is the background. Aha! All right, let's see how this goes now. This might be we might have a small problem in here. Let's see. Wildlife. Yeah, that thing going down is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And so now we can already see how that is starting to function using that morph transition, right? And none of this is, all of these clicks are totally using the invisible buttons, right? So we're not actually clicking on this button. All right, so let's continue on with this process. So I'm going to copy this page, paste it down here. And who's after the squirrel? So after the squirrel is the elephant. This is just my kind of canvas page that I'm using. So elephant's coming in next. So elephant's going to take the place of the squirrel. Okay, right click, send to back. Squirrel is going to slide over, take the place of the whale, which is 2 up, 1, 2. And let's just center it. There we go. You want to make sure they're as close as in the right spot as possible. Right click, send to back. Whale is going to come here at 1, 2, and that looks perfect. Buffalo is going to come over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right click, send to back. Owl is going to go over to here, come down by 4. And tiger, now to get the tiger's position over here, I'm going to do the same thing. So now I don't want to use this one. I want to use the squirrel. So I'm going to hold Control and Shift again, drag a copy of the squirrel over here until it gives me that spacing notification. And that's where I need my tiger to go. So he's going to come down by 2, and he's going to move over to there. And now I can delete the squirrel, and the tiger's in the right position now. And I'm going to do that one more time with the elephant, and then I won't have to do that anymore. All right, and so this page is now done. So now we're going to copy this page, paste. So you see how fast this goes once you get moving? It's not that bad. I just realized that I'm missing some effects. So I'm actually going to add a shadow to this. And I'm just going to use the default shadow because I really don't want to have to go around and do everything again. So I'm just going to use a default shadow on this top left one. So I'm only going to have to do this. I'm doing this now so that I should have done this at the beginning so that all the pictures already have this shadow set. But luckily I decided to do this earlier rather than later. Otherwise it would have taken even longer. So now I can just set it on all of the remaining pictures, and from then on I won't have to add this shape effect anymore. These are the kind of things that you should plan ahead. Alright, so let's do this next one. So who's after the, what are we up to here? The elephant. So who's after the elephant? Let's get this kingfisher. So this kingfisher is going to go where the elephant is. See how easy this is? Send to back. The elephant becomes where the squirrel is. 1, 2 up. And right click, send to back. And he's not quite in the right position, so why not? There we go. Right click, send to back. Squirrel goes to the whale. I need that squirrel to be in the front, so bring to front. It's easier to see what you're doing when you do it like that. Okay, yeah, perfect. Then send it to the back. Then whale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right click, send it to back. Alright, buffalo comes over to the owl. Let me bring you to the front for a minute. Oh, actually, no, in this case, it makes sense. So 4 down. Looks perfect. Owl goes over to the tiger. 1, 2. And now, where's this tiger going? We don't have a space holder. So again, this tiger is where the elephant is. So he's perfectly positioned. It's in the exact opposite position. So I need this kingfisher. So I'm going to hold Control and Shift, drag it all the way across, get that same spacing. See that spacing difference? And now I know where the tiger goes. So now, tiger goes down by 2. I can delete the kingfisher. And that's it. I don't have to do that anymore. Because now I've gotten the full run. This is all the pictures you'll ever need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, moving on to the next one, I would copy this, paste. So let's see, where were we up to? We were up to the kingfisher. So after kingfisher is going to be the monkey. So let's take the monkey, and we're going to put him where the kingfisher is. We're going to repeat this whole process again, but this time the tiger's just going to get deleted. So send to back. I'll take the kingfisher, bring him to the elephant. 1, 2. Come on. That one never likes to back up. Send to back. Elephant takes the squirrel. Send to back. Squirrel takes the whale. Squirrel takes the whale. That's a sentence nobody's ever said before. Whale takes the buffalo. 4 down. Buffalo takes the owl. Come on, center. Good. Owl takes the tiger. And tiger gets deleted. We don't need the tiger anymore. Copy, paste. Look how fast that is. People often think that this is more complicated than it is, but it's actually really quick. Once you get into the flow of it, you can do this super fast. And it's all just about, like, you know, I'm using the default scaling up options to save time. So this just is a matter of saving me time. Right? I could put it to a specific size, but then I would have to kind of mess with the size every time. Right now, because I'm just using these standard sizes, I can just click a certain number of times on my keyboard with Shift selected, and off it goes. Copy that, paste that. Now, at a certain point, you're going to want to stop and check and make sure you haven't ruined it yet. So let me just make sure that it's all working nicely. So let's start here. And let's just see how it scrolls. Lovely. And you see how they're kind of shrinking and morphing out of the way. And we can go back, and there they go. And this is the power of the morph transition. Oops, what's happening in there? Alright, something is going on with my hyperlink. Oh, it's not It's not selected. Why is that happening? All right, let me deal with this invisible block again. Insert, action, hyperlink to, last slide viewed. Oh, no, last slide viewed. That's wrong. That's not what we want. We actually want it to hyperlink to the previous slide in this case. In this case, the slide order does matter. That's the problem. That was my mistake. So Control C, and I'm just going to erase that invisible blocks and paste the new block on top of it. That was my mistake. Yeah, so in this case, the slide order does matter. So when you go back, you want it going back to the previous slide number. That way your transitions move in the correct way. See? This is why it's good to test things before you totally finish them all. These are the little sorts of things where you end up having to do lots of copying and pasting when you make a mistake. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take up that much time if you can work quickly. All right, so here's our new one. So now we're up to the dolphin. So let's take our dolphin. He's coming here. All right. Owls goes to monkey. Send to back. Monkey to kingfisher. Send to back. Kingfisher to elephant. Send to back. Elephant to squirrel. Squirrel to whale. Whale to buffalo. Yeah, is that centered? This doesn't matter so much because he's already going off the screen, but it's good to be careful. I'm proud of your work. All right, copy, paste. Almost done. We'll take our little caiman here, put him on the dolphin. Send to back. Dolphin over here. Send to back. Well, owl here. Okay, monkey. That's 4 up. Send to back. And again, once we get totally off the screen, that last one doesn't need to move over here. You can just delete because we're not seeing that movement anymore. All right, almost done. 2 more. I just mouse wheeled up to go to the different slide. You have to be careful. And last one. So copy, paste. And actually, we're going to have a few more slides after this, and I'll explain why. So firstly, we'll have the turtle over there. Everything moves over. Hope you guys have kept up. This is a race. Remember to hold shift as you're scaling your animals. Here. All right, we can delete that slide. Now, we still need a few more slides using this last one because we need to get that turtle over to the middle. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 more slides. So I'm going to copy this. 1, 2, 3. Paste it 3 times. And now I'm not adding new animals. I'm just moving things. So moving from here, we'll go to this slide here, and we'll move this guy over to this position, send to back, and we'll just move everything down, if this makes sense. And this is because, of course, we want to get to the end of the presentation and see that there's no animals left. Right? And again, this is all possible with the morph transmission. Now here it's going to get a bit tricky because now well, actually, you know what? To make it easier, we can just copy this one. I was going to say we're going to have to move things 2 places down, but instead we can just copy the previous one to make it easier. All right, so you're going to move over here. Send it back. You're going to move here. Okay, 4 down. Okay, 2 down. Okay, 2 down. And monkey gets deleted. And last time, copy, paste. And the final one. You see I'm using those red lines to help me. And so that is that. And we can save this as final PPT practice run. And again, I'll make this accessible for you guys, even though I said I wouldn't. All right, let's see how this is looking. So let's start at the beginning and let's launch it. All right, wildlife. And so here we have the wildlife scroller. And so we can check to make sure the back is working properly now. We can scroll through these, looking really good. And what I want you guys to imagine is what else you could do with this, right? Remember, these are just slides. So for example, when this comes up, when this squirrel is big, you could have a whole pop-up button here that brings you to another slide. Or you could have a click to learn more, you know? Like you click on this picture and it takes you somewhere else. Just to give you a quick example, I'll make a brand new, so let's say we're going to rename this species fact sheets. So let's go ahead and add a blank slide here, and we'll just use this blank layout. Give me that squirrel. Copy, paste, and let's go format. We'll go to crop and make him go super big, like that. Let's have him fill that space, and we'll insert our, what's going on with this background? Maybe we take that background. That's better. So let's go ahead and insert a shape here. And so this would be species name IUCN. And then maybe some info on the species. And we can all align this to the left. We can give it a nice big font. And then this one can be the smaller font. Give me a lorem ipsum. Yeah, let's go. Thank you. Where are you? Where's my lorem ipsum? Thank you. Just paste, remember, keep text only, and you'll keep your original formatting. All right, so we can size this and position this where we want it. In this case, I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to go to shape, Format Shape, Text Options, and Text Box to give there be a slightly larger border. We'll do 1/2 inch around all sides. We'll align the text to the middle of the box already. We'll get rid of the outline, no outline, and for fill we'll use this darker color, but we'll give it a little bit of transparency, something like that. And we might even give it a shadow, maybe an inside shadow. Ooh, that looks nice, very nice. And we can even have this animate by flying in from the right, from the top. And let's put the animation effect for that to be morph. So transition is going to be a morph, which is going to be 1 second. And we need a close button. So I'm going to go insert icon, close. We'll use this X here. And I'll put it up there. We'll make it white. We'll give it a drop shadow. And in this case, definitely we want it to go to the last slide viewed, not the last slide. So we want it to go to last slide viewed. So actions is going to be hyperlink to last slide viewed. And so we'll put it like that. All right, and let's see how this works now. So let's get that squirrel. Where are you? So only when he's in the center, we're going to have him hyperlink to slide number 20. And so you could put a little text, you know, somewhere, click to learn more. You can have these changing colors, you know, if you wanted it to be like only the one in the center gets its full color. You could kind of gray out these other ones with some sort of effect, right? Like that. And again, that's something that if you'd done that at the beginning, that would have, you know, saved you a lot of time. But yeah, so you can now imagine that you get to your squirrel. You're going to see a color change here because I didn't do that to everything. Yeah, so you could have just the middle one is full color and these other ones are a bit grayed out if you wanted. When you get to that squirrel, if you click on the squirrel, did I not hyperlink him? I didn't hyperlink him. Slide 20. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's try again. So now when we get to that squirrel, beautiful, he becomes nice in color, and when you click on him, watch this. And I didn't change the animations, so animations. All right, yeah, not on click. We want it to start after previous. Remember, if you're in kiosk mode, you can't click. You need hyperlinks. So any animations that you have need to start on the click. And we'll even have that one fade in after this one. So that way the X isn't there at the beginning. All right, one last time. Let's go to the next guy. There's our squirrel. So we select the squirrel. He goes over there. The fact sheet comes in. And when we close this thing, we go right back to our slider and we can continue on. And you could do this for every animal if you wanted. So how cool is that? Now you see how this didn't reset itself. That animation didn't reset itself. So if we wanted that animation to reset so that it slid in every time, you guys know how to do this, but we'll do it now as a practice. So we're going to just copy that page, duplicate slide, and on the first slide, we're going to get rid of anything with an animation. And transition will automatically go to the next slide. And then it will come here to this slide. And now on this one, we don't need any transition. And that should be good. Animations will be starting automatically. So now, that squirrel will hyperlink to slide 20, and slide 20 is empty, and slide 20 will jump to 21 every time. So let's check out how that works. So we go next, we get to the squirrel, we want to learn about the squirrel, we select him, he goes here, and there it comes, there's our animation. So now when we close it, uh-oh, that is a problem. Now we can't use last slide viewed anymore. We have to remove this hyperlink and hyperlink it to a specific slide. So what is our squirrel is on slide 11, so we'll have to hyperlink it to slide 11 for our close button. That's okay, no problem. Did it work? Hyperlink to slide 11. Yep, squirrel. Okay. All right, that should now be totally working. All right, next. Let's just make sure our back works. Yes, good. Let's get over to that squirrel. And we select the squirrel. He comes in. We get our animation. We close it. It morphs back to this. We can cycle through. We go back to the squirrel. We click again, and we get that same repeating process. There we go. Beautiful. Looking great. And so you could imagine doing this for all these animals. You could have your fact sheet. You could have other pictures. You could even have videos here, you know, on this extra slide. And so this is how you make good looking PowerPoints. I don't know how long this has taken us to do, what, an hour or something? But you can imagine that with, you know, a full day of work on something like this, you could flush out a template for an entire great looking interactive application. And so we basically roughed out, you know, how many different animals here? 15 different animals, at least the layouts. And it wouldn't take that much longer to add a species fact sheet for each one. You could then do something similar for places and so on. So I think that's going to wrap up our experiment. If you guys can duplicate some of these things to get it looking even something remotely like this. I mean, obviously this is just a a kind of test of everything that we've learned, to put it into practice, to kind of experiment with good-looking design ideas, to learn about interactivities and transitions and animations. If you guys can replicate this on your own, you guys are set. And from there on, it's just a matter of creativity and coming up with new ideas and putting in your own pictures and your own contents and your own images. And yeah, so I think this is going to be concluding our PowerPoint series. This was a long series. We're going to continue on with additional things in the future. But yeah, this was something that I thought was really important to be able to share with you guys, because it is such a powerful tool and you can do so much with it. And if you guys have gotten to the point where you've seen what we can do and you're interested to explore further, like I thoroughly recommend that you continue to teach yourself by exploring other tutorials online and just looking for cool ideas of things you can do with PowerPoint. So that's going to wrap it up for me for our PowerPoint videos, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about other things in future videos. We've still got to cover graphic design, photography, video editing. We're going to spend a bit of time on Google Sheets to talk about formulas and so on. So go check out those other videos if you haven't seen them already. Everything is available on our website as well as on our YouTube channel, broken up by the chapter category as well as a title to show you, exactly what we're going to be going through in that lesson. So feel free to keep looking through and keep studying, keep practicing, and re-watch them as much as you want. And you can just listen to my beautiful voice rambling on about various things over and over again. So all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye-bye.